Hello class and welcome to week 2 of PSYU 522. Let's talk about what we have this week. When you get into the module number 2, you'll see the spotlight summary for this week. Make sure that you listen to that to get your gears turning about what we'll be reviewing. You have your welcome. You can click on the week at a glance. You will see a quote, the course learning objectives that we'll be focused upon during this week, and a checklist. Remember, those items in black font aren't graded, but they are your readings, your reminders to work on some of the assignments coming up soon. Your developmental fact sheet, is due next week in week 3, so start looking on that, start thinking about that, start preparing for that because this is a lighter week. Also, I didn't mention it in week 1. Start looking at your digital storytelling assignment too. I will look at that at the end of this video, but it's really important that you work on that ahead of time. You don't want that sneaking up on you. But your discussion board is what is graded for the week. If we go back into the class, you'll see the welcome, a similar graphic with those readings, your reminder to work on your developmental fact sheet, and then what is graded. The course materials folder, in there you have your PowerPoints associated with the chapters, and I believe this lecture is good to go. I apologize within week 1 about Kaltura, but I think we got to it pretty quickly to get these lectures in here in another format for you to be able to review, especially since this is an asynchronous class. But there's a lot of great information in here for you to review. Okay, in the assignments folder, you will find your assignment for the week. It denotes that we're going to be talking about perceptions, expectations, rules that relate to the development of men and women, and how the impact of the family upon gender development can't be minimized. For your initial posting, you want to construct a 3-generational genogram, at least 3 generations. So that's you, your family, your parents, and your grandparents. So going back to your grandparents at least, and make sure you look for these different themes in relation to gender and these themes. So gender and health or illness, gender and addictions, gender and gender and education, gender occupational status, patterns of marriage and divorce, gender and caretaking responsibilities, involvement in parenting and gender, sexual orientation and gender, and longevity. So you're going to not have to cover all of them, but look for some of those themes and write about what you've observed as you've constructed your genogram. Then you're going to choose one of those themes or patterns that stood out to you when you had that genogram analysis, and then find one peer-reviewed journal article that is associated with that theme, and making sure that it also ties in gender roles or gender development, gender perceptions in this article. In your initial posting, you're going to provide a summary of that journal article and reviewing the areas of study, results, and implications of this theme, making sure that you cite the journal article in the posting and add a reference at the end. Finally, you're going to provide a note about how you're going to use this information with future clients in the clinical setting. Your initial posting is due Thursday by midnight, should be at least 300 words in length. If you are hitting all these points, that should not be a problem. So down here is a video about constructing a genogram for your support for that initial posting. Make sure that you attach your genogram for your initial posting as well. For your peer response posting, you need to have 2 peer response postings due Sunday by midnight. Should be, I apologize, 100 words in length a minimum. So for this, you're going to answer the following questions after you review your peer's initial posting and their genogram. What were some of the messages that you received in development in regards to what it meant to be a man or a woman? And think about messages you received from your parents or caregivers, if any, that supported and influence your development. After you review your peers' initial posting and their themes that they summarized from the journal article, are the messages that you learned throughout your development, so looking back to the first bullet point, aligned with a theme and pattern from your peers' posting, or is there an internal conflict within that noted theme or pattern and the messages that you learned throughout development? So how does your developmental experience compare to what your peer discussed from the journal article? Then, third, what methods or strategies would you employ to treatment to ensure that your own thoughts or perceptions, so what we're talking about above regarding gender roles, would not negatively impact treatment or harm the client, and any other reactions to your peer's initial posting. Your 2 peer response postings are due Sunday by midnight. All right, and finally, in the activities folder, We have additional supports with articles, a podcast, a video, and then additional resources down there to include another article and video as well. So that is it for week number 2. Keep looking ahead. I did say I'm going to mention the digital storytelling project. That is due in week 5. It's really important that you get in there, look in the assignments folder, start to review the instructions. There's an instructional video up here. There's instructions down here for you to review about the assignment as well, and rubric, as well as a lot of different supports for you to start thinking about and working on that, because it is due in week 5 and does take some time. But that is it. Please reach out to me if you have any questions, comments, or concerns, and I hope you're doing well. Thank you.